What's up, everybody? It's your boy Stevie the Black, STEVEE, the Black. I'm back, and I'm here to give you my over the edge review. I finished watching the pay per view yesterday. Was it better than Unforgiven? Was it a better pay per view? Was it worse? Was it okay? Let's break it down and let's get into it. So, Over the Edge starts off with LOD 2000 taking on the DOA in a tag team match. It wasn't very interesting. I mean, normally opening matches get me... The job of opening matches, obviously, is to hype up the audience, right? To wake them up, to get them psyched for the pay-per-view. Like, oh, man, this is going to be a great show. And I didn't get that from this opening contest. I thought it was an okay match. The match ended because there's two twin brothers in there. I think it's Skull and Ace or 8 Ball. So they switch places with each other to try and beat the LOD, but it backfires on them and they ended up still losing the match anyway. And really, when that stuff like that happens, it's really confusing because it's like the one dude, is so beat up he can't defend himself. The other guy is fresh. So when the other guy comes in, they should be able to win the match. But I forgot who was on the outside with the LOD, but he hit a Skull in the back. And with a simple flip, they were able to win the match. LOD 2000. I gave it a 2 out of 5. I thought it was okay. It wasn't great. Wasn't awesome. I wouldn't say it was boring. It kept my attention good enough, but it was okay. Next up, we had Steve Blackman taking on Double J. Again, there were a few instances in the match where I thought Blackman was going to win. It got to the point where the referee was distracted, and each one of them used Blackman's stick. Steve used his stick on Double J, but it still wasn't enough to put him away. And then so Blackman goes to the top of the rope, and then Tennessee Lee takes his sticks, and then he uses it to hit Double J in the back, which caused him to fall off the top rope, which then allows Double J to cover him and win the match. I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. I thought it was a little bit better than the opening match. But not that much better. Next up, we had Mark Merrow. And the basis of this match is Sable was supposed to pick somebody to represent her, and without her interfering, if the person that Sable picked was able to beat Mark Merrow, then Sable would be free from her contract. But if not, then she would be she had to leave the WWE. Sable. So Mark Merrow comes out first. And then Sable comes out, but she's in some wrestling gear. And she's like, I'm not going to have anybody fight my battles. It's just going to be you and me. I got myself into this. I'm going to get myself out. So Mark is like, all right, what happened to us? We used to be so close. When I won the Intercontinental Championship, I dedicated it to you. And now look at us, And he's like, I know what I need to do. So they ring the bell. He lays down on the ground, and it looks like he's gonna let Sable win. So she goes for the cover. 1, 2, but then Mabel reverses it and gets a small package on her and wins the match. He wins. And Sable, she has to now leave the WWE. I was wondering how they were gonna do it, but that makes the most sense. That was a good little way to do it. I gave it a 2 out of 5. Obviously, it wasn't nothing there, but the story of it is great. I love the story of Sable trying to break away from Mark Merrow, because Mark is jealous, that Sable's getting all this love and attention from the crowd, and he doesn't get any of it, So that's what really started this thing between them, and now Sable's gone. So will we ever see her again? Clearly we do. But I don't know how she comes back, and I'm interested to see how else this continues. Next up, we have Bradshaw and Taka Michinoku taking on Ken I Tai. This group of Japanese wrestlers who came in and targeted Taka Michinoku and Bradshaw for some reason. The whole story at the match is they're beating up Taka. They're using their numbers game against him. It's a 3-on-2 handicap match. And the story of the match is they're using their numbers against him. Like whenever Bradshaw will come in to like help his partner, the other three would jump Taka and beat him down and everything. But eventually Taka's able to break free. You tag in Bradshaw. You know, they build a little bit more momentum. But again, still not enough to win. So Taka comes back in, hits the Michinoku driver. We think that's it, but nope. Once again, they use their number advantage, distract the ref long enough for them to take advantage, and they win the match. I gave it a 3 out of 5. I definitely loved it, enjoyed it. So normally I don't watch cruiserweights because they're supposed to be interesting. I just don't watch 205 live, But everything I've seen with Taka Michinoku, I really, really enjoy it, and I like seeing him work. He's great at it, so that's great. So got a 3 out of 5 for me. Next up, we had The Rock taking on Farook. Earlier in the night, The Rock came out because the Trash. Where are they at? Milwaukee. That's where they're at. Rock came out to talk trash about Milwaukee. So Farook comes out. He beats him up. And then he tries to go for a pile driver on a chair, but he misses completely. But because, it's the story, they got to go with it of, when he pile drived him on the steel chair, The Rock hurt his neck, right? So then we get in the back, and The Rock's, so the stretcher comes out and takes The Rock out, whenever like that, and he's in the back, and everyone's like, he can't feel his hand, he can't do this, he can't do that, he can't compete tonight, right? But then Commissioner Slaughter says, if The Rock does not compete tonight for the Intercontinental Championship, then he will be stripped of the title. So The Rock has no choice but to compete tonight. Obviously, Farook has the advantage early on. But eventually it gets to a point where I'm trying to think, how did the match end? Did he go for the Rock bottom? No, I'm sorry. Farook, he hits another move on The Rock. I can't remember what the move was. I'm so sorry about it. But he goes for the cover. He gets the 3 count, but during that 3 count, The Rock gets his foot on the rope. The referee sees it at the end. He's like, no, you didn't win. He got his foot on the rope. So they try and go at it again. They fight. They end up in a corner. Farook is down. The Rock pins him by putting his legs on the rope for leverage. 1, 2, 3. The Rock retains the Intercontinental Championship. Farook is mad because he cheated. He's like, whoa, he had his foot on the rope. But of course, the referee didn't see that, right? So then Farook beats up The Rock some more, hits him with another pile driver until the Nation come out. They jump Farook, but then DX comes out and they beat down and scare away the Nation, obviously for their match later on in the night. And that's how it all ends. I give the match a 2.5 out of 5. I didn't think it was better than the than the 2-on-3 handicap match, the previous one before this one. But I thought it was still pretty good in the story. I mean, it's so weird, watching baby faces just in a different time area. Like, we don't get baby faces like this now. Baby faces are all about honor and stuff. But back then it was like, no, I'm not gonna take no piece of what from you, and I'm gonna fight you like a man and all this stuff like that. So it was very interesting. Like, we have very few guys of those today, so it's very interesting. Next up, we had Vader taking on Kane in a mask versus mask match. I gave the match a 3 out of 5. The match was okay. I didn't remember anything specific that really stood out to me. But it was just a typical match. Like I said, I don't remember anything quite sticking out. See, the only thing I can really remember sticking out was the moment where Vader goes on the outside and he has a wrench, just like the one Kane used on him, and he uses to attack Kane and put him down. And then he gets him back in the ring. Paul Bearer is distracting the ref for some unknown reason, I guess to help Kane, but it backfires on both of them, which allows him to use the wrench in the first place. But then after that, so they get back in the ring. Vader's about to go for a moonsault. He misses badly. Kane goes for the tombstone pile driver and pins him, and then he takes off his mask, hands it to Paul Bearer, and Paul Bearer is mocking Vader and everything like that, and then they leave. Michael Cole then comes and he interviews Vader, and he's like, "Hey, Vader, you know what happened out there?" And he's like, "I'm not gonna make any excuses. I thought I had what it take to beat Kane, but I didn't. He beat me, and I'm nothing but a big fat loser." He didn't say loser. He said something else, and he's like all that. And he's upset and he leaves. So I don't know if this is the last we'll see of Vader. Maybe he'll go through some kind of transformation, be a different character. I don't know, but like I said, I gave it a 3 out of 5. It was typical. I wasn't bored, but nothing ever really stuck out to me. But it wasn't bad enough to where it was a 2.5 or anything like that, or anything lower than that. Next up, we had DX taking on the Nation. It was Triple H and the New Age Outlaws taking on Mustafa, Owen Hart, and D'Lo Brown. The one thing I noticed about this 6-man tag team match was there was a lot of pin breakups in this, which you typically don't see a lot today in today's WWE. You don't see a lot of that. It's just mostly the guy kicking out, but this is again different time period. I don't know. Eventually, it leads to the point where Mark Henry's on the outside along with China. Those two get into it, which then allows a brawl to break out. During all the confusion, the refs trying to calm everything down. Triple H gives Billy Gunn a championship belt. And then he power drives. What was it? D'Lo? Is either D'Lo or I think it was Owen Hart on the championship. But the ref's still not there for the pin. So then Owen comes in. He gets rid of Billy Gunn. He pedigrees Triple H onto the belt. Goes for the pin. 1, 2, 3. The Nation win, and Owen gets his revenge on Triple H. First off, so let me just say this, right? So when I did my last pay-per-view review, which was yesterday for Unforgiven, Owen was not part of the Nation yet. So when I saw that he joined the Nation, first of all, he did it by betraying Ken Shamrock. Why is that always a thing? Like when you betray Ken Shamrock, you join the Nation. Is that a rule? Right? But so he joins the Nation because, typical heel stuff. You guys turned your back on me. My family turned their back on me and they left me. All that stuff like that. And I'm sick and tired of, the numbers game, which is understandable. But, the Nation is a group of all black people. Originally it wasn't that. No, you used to have the white rappers in there, but they were just rappers. They weren't fighters, So have Owen in there. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying, it makes more sense for Owen to be a heel. From what I've seen from him so far, it makes sense for him to be a heel than a babyface. But people loved him when he was a babyface. So I will say that. But I was shocked actually that the Nation won. I didn't think they would win. I thought it would be DX, because they turn face, and typically when that happens, the freshly new face normally wins, but that didn't happen. So obviously this is far from over, and I'm interested to see what's to come next. Last but certainly not least, we have the main event. Stone Cold Steve Austin taking on Dude Love for the WWF Championship with special guest referee Vince McMahon. See who else? Jared Briscoe is the timekeeper, and yeah, he's a special guest timekeeper, and Pat Patterson is the special guest announcer. So he has all these elaborate entrances. Well, first of all, Howard Finkel has a elaborate entrance for Pat Patterson, and then Pat Patterson gives an elaborate entrance for both Jared Briscoe and Vince McMahon. And let me just say, it is very, very awkward and weird to watch Vince McMahon come out and not have no chance playing at all. It's very weird. As long as I've been watching wrestling, he's had that song. Vince is the only person who I know whose song has never ever changed. Every wrestler's song has changed, but not Vince. He's had no chance his whole career, or since he started having his own theme song. And so when he walks out, it's just super awkward, and him not having his own theme. So, but anyway, the The thing is, this past Monday, Stone Cold got Vince arrested, and he only let him out if he let somebody else make sure Vince, another superstar, keeps Vince in check. And Vince's whole thing on Monday was, I don't fear anybody, so anybody who comes out, it's not going to matter because I'm not scared of you. Well, The Undertaker comes out to make sure Vince calls it down the middle, right? And so obviously everyone's scared of The Undertaker. He's The Undertaker. Excuse me. So throughout the match, they're changing the rules. First, it's a no disqualification match when Dude Love starts doing stuff. Then it's false count anywhere when Stone Cold's down and they want to cover him on the outside. Then it's no count outs and stuff like that. So they're constantly changing the rules, but as they're doing it, the match is getting better and better and better. This match was way better than their match in Unforgiven. Let me just say that, first of all. Second of all, Taker just walking around. Here's the thing, right? If Taker's there to make sure Vince doesn't cheat, why isn't he stopping him from making it a no disqualification or false count? Why isn't he stopping that? He's just walking around, right? And Vince is just like, he keeps looking to make sure, Taker doesn't do anything to him, because he's scared. Again, he's The Undertaker, right? So eventually we get back to the point where we're in the ring. But they're wrestling all throughout the outside arenas and everything. And the crowd, they get to the stage, they're fighting over there. A Stone Cold gets busted open. But eventually it gets down to the point where they get in the ring. Who was it? I think it was Pat Patterson hands Dude Love a chair. He goes for the strike, but did he hit him? He goes for the strike. I think he hits him with a stunner. So he misses. And then he tries to go for the cover, but Vince refuses to count to 3. And Stone Cold's mad because he's like, "What are you doing? Why aren't you counting the 1, 2, 3?" And obviously we know why Vince isn't counting. He does not like Stone Cold Steve Austin. He doesn't want him to be the WWF champion. So Dude Love has a chair. He's trying to hit Stone Cold. Stone Cold ducks. He knocks out Vince with the chair, bro. And the way Vince just falls is hilarious. So Vince is out now. Stone Cold hits him with a stunner, but there's no referee. So then another referee comes down, counts to 1, 2. Pat Patterson pulls him out of the ring, and then Pat tries to go for the cover, but then Taker takes him out and chokeslams him through the announce table. And then Gerald Briscoe tries to come in, and he tries to count the 1, 2, 3, but Taker pulls him out and chokeslams him through a table. And then Stone Cold once again hits a low blow and another stunner on Dude Love. Then he grabs the knocked out Vince and he uses hand 1, 2, 3. Stone Cold retains the WWF Championship, and that is how the match. And I had to give it a 4.5 out of 5. That match was fun. It was great. It was just excellent. The tension, the Vince not wanting to count, him getting knocked up on the chair. Jared Briscoe and Patterson trying to intervene, and the other ref coming through. It was great. Taker being there, great. After the match, though, Taker's giving Stone Cold this look. But you could interpret it as a look of respect, or you could interpret it as, I'm coming for your championship next. I came out to help you. Now I want a shot at the WWF title. Which I guess means his feud with Kane is over because, okay. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens next. For the overall grade, for my final grade for Over the Edge, I'm going to have to give it a C-. I thought it was a little bit better than Unforgiven. Not that much better. The main event was fun. That was my favorite match of the night. Other than that, the only other match that I thought was pretty good was Bradshaw Taka Michinoku 2-on-3 handicap match. I thought the DX versus the Nation was a pretty good match. And like I said, Vader and Kane, it wasn't boring, but it wasn't great. Like, nothing really sticks out for me from that match other than, Vader getting unmasked. But it's not like we didn't know what Vader already looks like, So, overall, like I said, I give Over the Edge a C-. Next pay-per-view is King of the Ring. And this is 1998. So, you know what happens at this pay-per-view. I've never, ever seen this match. I'm looking forward to seeing this match. Undertaker, Mankind, Hell in a Cell. I'm looking forward to it. Can't wait. I've seen interviews and I've seen Taker and Mick Foley talk about it, but now I get to see the match with my own eyes for the very first time. I want to know why they get into why they start feuding. I have a pretty good idea why. So it'll be interesting to see where this goes. But that's pretty much it. Again, C- for Over the Edge 1998. And that's pretty much it. So if you're not down with that, I've just got 2 words for you. Peace out, and I'll talk to you guys later.